Well, Sean, I wonder what it feels like
Yes.
to be a recently promoted team to the Premier League. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How is everyone feeling this fine
Yeah.
midweek between match weeks 9 and 10? We are all vibes tonight. This is the North London Feels edition of Red Card Radio. My name is James. I support Arsenal. That guy up top with me is Sean. He supports Tottenham. And our usual third co-host, Brad, is so deep in his feelings about this result last week against newly promoted Premier League big boys, Sunderland, that he decided to stay late at work and couldn't
Yeah.
even face the feels.
No, sometimes you just gotta when you're going through something, you got something in your feelings and you're going through something. Sometimes you just kind of ostrich yourself in
Yeah.
work. You just bury yourself in work, keep your mind off of it.
Sometimes,
Work and family, and
yeah.
I know he's got family involved too. So, but he's got his work and then family, and just try not to think about it.
You never know when something's going to hit you so deeply emotionally, like
Yeah.
like the fighting Granit Xhaka's. Uh,
Ah,
but
just
before
winners everywhere he
yeah,
goes, man.
before we
That's what
get
he
into
does.
this, we need you, people of the internet, to hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell so you can be alerted to even more Red Card Radio greatness. Just this
If
is
you feel like it.
yeah. If you feel like, if you have a feeling like you want to support us, it would help us tremendously. If you're on one of the podcast sites and you are just wondering why we keep saying the word feeling, and you're just like, what did I click on? Well, you want to subscribe, rate, and review on your platform so that you will be alerted to more Red Card Radio greatness as well.
So the origin of the feels was that the table does not matter according to James and this podcast. The table does not matter until
Nope.
round 10 is done.
Objectively
Till
true.
10
Yep.
games till
Yep.
10 games have been played. So this happened to be an episode that James was going to miss, and me and Brad took it upon ourselves to
No, no,
um
it was Brad missed the
you were
first.
there?
Brad missed the first Fields
The
episode. It
very
was me
first
and
one.
you.
So we just decided, you know what? Since this is the last episode before we have to take things seriously,
Mm-hmm.
let's see how everything feels. While it still doesn't matter,
Yep.
let's see how everything feels.
And I
Does it
think
feel like this is going to be good?
this is either the third or fourth edition of the Fields.
Yeah,
I think it
yeah,
might be the fourth. I think Brad
yeah,
has been on one Fields episode. Last year, Jimmy was on the Fields episode with us, and I
yeah,
think Brad missed as well last year. Or maybe it was all
yeah,
four of us. I don't know.
yeah.
But this is the traditional Fields episode.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We are officially a quarter of the way into the season. 9 games have been played, and so we're starting to get a feel for how things are going to play out. And the first question we want to tackle is whether or not it feels like all three of these promoted teams can stay up.
Ooh, that is a really strong feel. Um, it, yeah, man, yeah, I think they can. I mean, the the thing I said about Sunderland is, what are they on? They're on 15 right now, 16, I think it was.
I think they're
I
third in the Premier
had
League
had
presently.
I had my notes up and
Oh,
then
they're
they've gone
fourth
dormant.
on
Now I've got to
17 points.
reload. 17 points is absolutely massive to a promoted club. Now I don't know what their aspirations or what they're going to end up being, but relegated team, we're a quarter of the way into the season. They've already got 17 points. Do we think they're going to do that three more times? Probably not. They're probably going to come down to earth. But having 17 through the first quarter is massive for a promoted club.
I mean, yeah, like if they kept on this pace, they're upper 60s in terms of point total,
Yeah,
and that would be
yeah, yeah.
that's fighting for Champions League football. Now, I agree with you.
Because
They're not going to
the
do that,
the
but
magic rule is 40, right?
yeah,
And so if they do this again, they're already at 34. Largely speaking, clubs that make it into the 30s don't get relegated either.
yeah,
but it's just not a magic. Like there has never been a team that has made it to 40 and been relegated. But there have been teams that made it into the 30s and been relegated. But generally speaking, most relegated teams are in the teens or 20s. So all they have 3/4 of the season to get basically 20 more points,
Yeah.
23 more points.
You would
You know,
imagine you'd imagine if they get 20 more points over the next, what is it, 29
yeah,
games, that they'll be safe,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It would be shocking if they got to 37 points
absolutely.
and didn't.
So
And on top of that, they're playing pretty decent football. So
yeah,
I think we can say that we think Sunderland are going to stay up. Now the next
yeah,
question would be Leeds and Burnley. Now they're in slightly more precarious positions.
yeah,
Um,
but they're on double digits. We're a quarter of the way in. If they do this again, they're both going to hit 40 if
yeah,
they keep up 11 and 10.
and I think the more interesting question is not whether or not they can keep it up, Be- because being on 10 and 11 points respectively a quarter of the way in is fine. The problem is like we've got some like potentially generationally bad Wolves. West
Yeah,
Ham are also exceedingly stinky, right?
can't
Like
figure it out.
both of those teams look like they are listless, and we had that relegation six
Well,
pointer last weekend
well,
between Burnley and Wolves, and Burnley picked up all three, all six, if you will. And
yeah.
so,
Well, that would lead into another
yeah,
feels. So I think we were feeling like the three promoteds are going to stay up, but it might be the
man,
first time in EPL history. Maybe I don't
I've
know.
first
I
time
would need to look into that.
first team in time in long memory that I can remember.
Like maybe we just need to get RCR media statistician to work
Yeah.
on that for us while we're doing the pod. Yeah, Guillermo, go for that. Take care of that. Um, so the what it leads into though is, do we feel like Wolves are this bad? I feel like we went through this last year and we kept saying no, they're not this bad, but then they weren't because they had Matthias Matthias Cunha, they had Ait Nori, they, you know what I mean? Like they had good players on their team. Now they don't.
Yeah,
So are they just this bad?
they massively got uh okay. I got I got a note from the statistician, just so you
Okay.
know. And
Okay.
it was in 2022, 2023.
That all three stayed up.
Yeah, in 2022,
Wow,
23.
breaking news. Breaking news on Red Card Radio.
Fulham, Bournemouth, and Nottingham Forest all avoided relegation.
Wow. Okay.
So,
All right. Yeah.
yeah,
Go me. If that was trivia tonight, I'd have
it's
failed.
it's only the fourth time it's happened in Premier League history: 01, 02, 11, 12, and 17 and 18.
Wow. Okay.
So, but in the following seasons after this last time it happened, so 23, 24, 24, 25, all three promoted teams were relegated. So that's why we're biased and we have a short memory here, is
Yeah.
because the last two seasons everyone's been relegated.
Yeah.
And so that was
Well, and
egg on our
I
face.
I had forgotten that all three stayed up 3 years ago, but I had been on record saying that of recent memory, the past two seasons, I would say of recent memory that I could remember, at least one would stay up, at least one or two.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember all three, which happened the year prior. But we were talking about relegation teams, and you guys were all putting the three promoted, and I'm like, no, that just doesn't happen. Somebody stays up, and then of course 2 years in a row it happens that all three promoteds go down. But all right, so good to know Sean Stradamus was right on something. Anyways, our Wolves are
Yes. Wolves are
because
just this
last
bad.
year,
Wolves are just this
are they
bad.
just this bad now?
Well,
All right,
they
so
just lost so many players, and this is the same thing that we thought would happen to Brentford to a degree, because Brentford got rated pretty hard, but it seems like they have been able to recover. Brentford has been able to recover.
yeah,
They've stabilized. They also spent a little bit of money, whereas I'm not sure Wolves really spent any money this summer. Um,
yeah,
you know,
nothing of note. Yeah.
and so like yes, are Wolves just this bad? I think so. And they did this at the beginning of last year. But I think
Yeah, they did.
they had more points. I think they were on like 10-ish points. It feels like at this time last year. Maybe I'm making that up, but it feels like they
They
had
were
more
in the
points.
they were in the relegation zone, but they had the hardest start to last year of any club in the Premier League as far as their first 10
Yes.
games. So
Yes.
they got all
Oh,
of the big boys out the way, and were able to just navigate the rest of the season. Their opening run, I believe it was like the first 6 or 7 games were,
yes.
murderous row. It was like Liverpool, City, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea. Like they just rattled them
Yeah.
off, and
But
just
but
okay, we're done with that.
yes, yeah,
Now
and
let's
that's the
try to put
thing.
some points
That's the
together.
thing is like once we've gotten that out of the way, we have some winnable games. We have some games where we can pick
Yeah.
up points.
Now it doesn't feel like they're losing to Burnley.
Yeah,
They're losing it to Burnley at the Molineux.
yep. And
Uh,
that is the
Not good.
worrying. That's the worrying part for Wolves. Now, do we
Yeah.
think West Ham
See,
are this
that's the
bad?
one. That's the one. West Ham and Nottingham Forest do not have bad players. They just are playing really bad. Now
Say
that
that
I've
one more
said
time.
that,
Say that one more. They don't have bad players. They're just playing bad.
they're just playing bad.
Okay.
They are portraying now that I said that out loud, I'm realizing that West Ham also had a bad team last year as far as performance in the table over 38 games. They were down there with United and Tottenham the
Yeah.
entire season.
And West Ham have also lost a number of players. Well,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
maybe they lost Kudos, and who
yeah.
else have they lost this summer? Oh, I gotta look.
Uh,
Anyway, that Kudos is the biggest one because he was clearly their best player last year. But then they
Clearly.
also they've been through. They're into their second manager this season. They sacked Graham Potter. Um, what is it like
Now,
6 games in and picked up Nuno?
was it them that was also in a little bit of hot water with financial fair play or whatever they call it in England?
PSR.
Because it was PSR. They were caught up with it was Newcastle, Forest, and some. It was either Villa or West Ham.
I
I
feel like
confuse
it's
them.
Villa. I feel like it's Villa.
Okay, it was Villa,
Villa
who just
always
needed.
seems like they are.
Yeah, it was a couple of teams that just weren't in dire straits. But hey, just chill out for a summer, and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Um, and all three teams did so, and are now on the other side of that. I was wondering if
Take
West
this
Ham
off.
was one of those people, one of
I,
those
I
clubs.
I can't remember off the top of my head. Um, but
Uh,
I feel like if I have to pick of the three teams that are in the drop zone right now between West Ham, Wolves, and Forest, to
it's
me
Wolves.
it feels like Wolves are the most dead. I think
Yeah.
that West Ham have enough quality to pull themselves out of it, and I definitely think that Forest do as well. And now, I mean, Forest have a manager in Sean Dyche that is, I think, definitely capable of staving off relegation. I mean, did you see he rocked up in the Europa League and got a win in his first game as in Europe? Like this man is just like, this
Yeah.
is what I do.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Utter woke nonsense.
If you had if you had to pick 5 teams right now that you think legitimately could get relegated,
So you said 5 teams,
yeah,
right?
just you get 5. Like, and I feel like if you want to throw a
Let
sixth
me
in there, like if you look at the bottom of the table, you've got
let
Wolves,
me
West Ham, Forest, Fulham, Burnley, Leeds, Everton, and then you get up to Brighton, Newcastle.
so so since we're on feels, like
Yes,
I don't I don't feel like Forest will get relegated. I
same,
think there's too much quality on that. I
same.
think they're out. I cannot rule out West Ham.
Yeah,
And the reason
same.
I can't is because of last year, because they struggled the entirety of last year. Maybe their players just aren't as good as we think they are. So it's Wolves, West Ham, Fulham, the fighting, the Arsenal East, Arsenal West. Sorry. Uh, and then it's got to be Burnley. I don't think that Leeds. There was a stat I saw. I wish I would have saved it. That Brennan Aronson Brendan Aronson is creating the most chances per 90 of any player in the Premier League right now.
Well, all right then.
Yeah. And it's, it's not an astronomical number. It's like 5.4, something like that. But it's more than Salah, everybody,
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, name the players in the Premier League. There's a lot of quality players, and he
Yeah.
is leading that.
Yeah. To
And
me,
so,
it seems like Burnley, Fulham, West Ham, Wolves. If I was a betting man, it would be 3 of those 4 teams.
yeah,
I kind of think Leeds feel like they play a little bit better football than maybe Burnley, and
Mhm.
so that's why I tend to give them more credence. But I don't
And
think Everton. I don't think Everton will get relegated. I don't think
my
Forest will get relegated. They have way too many good players to
my
get
gen my
relegated.
general thought on the promoteds is the teams that come up and attack
Hmm.
generally stay up because you're gonna catch somebody on an off day.
Yeah,
Like the what one we were talking about where Brentford, it was Brentford, Fulham, and someone else that came up. That year that Brentford came up, Frank had them absolutely. Remember that was the year that they had at Old Trafford. Ivan Toney scored like three he had a hat trick in the first half. It was like 5-1 at half, and they were
yeah,
just absolutely destroying them. And that the whole thing was we're going that way. Leeds came up and did the same thing
yeah.
when they came up, and I forget the
Bielsa,
manager at that time.
Bielsa.
Yeah, Bielsa was just like, we're going that way. We're either gonna lose by a bajillion or we're gonna win 4-3.
Yeah,
Either way, we're going that way.
yeah. I think there is
And
some
those
credence to it if you
t-
can do it.
tend to stay up
If you can do it.
because Burnley, their calling card coming up was that they didn't give up goals. They're defensively stout, and that's how they got out of the championship. Was we're just not going to give up goals, and try to break us down. That's not going to
Yeah,
work in the Premier League.
because you are
You
gonna
will get
yeah,
broken
you're
down.
gonna get broken down. Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
need and Leeds go forward and they attack, and I just Burnley. Yeah, Burnley's the one.
all right. So if we turn our feelings towards the top of the table, if you had
Okay.
to if you had to
Ooh,
pick
Sunderland, Bournemouth.
if you had to pick teams that you think are in the title race, which teams do you think are in the title race?
Well, it's definitely Tottenham, for sure.
Okay, for sure Tottenham.
For sure, Tottenham. Probably just Tottenham, Bournemouth, and City. Really.
Yeah. Seems about right. What about Ruben Amorim's United side? They're sitting down there in sixth. They're only what, like 6 points off the top?
Yeah, point accumulators.
I mean
Yeah,
that
I mean,
that
yeah, the top's a little muddled. You guys you're out to you got a little four. Us losing to Villa was a big hit.
but
Like that.
Villa also just beat City. So like, is it
Yeah,
a big hit or is it just Villa's decent? Right?
it's a, it was a big hit to us keeping pace.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
if we could have at least got a point there, we'd be right there. We'd be right there with Bournemouth, and we'd be 4 points off, 5 points off. This early, it's not a big deal. Um, just makes it look not as good. Um,
I mean, I could say the same thing about
and
dropping 3 points against the seventh place team as well. So had we not dropped
uh,
3 points against the seventh place team, then I think it would look even much better.
well, that's a interesting. All right, so we can kind of tie these field together. Liverpool have lost 4 straight.
Yeah,
What
but
do we make of this? They
what do
won 5 straight to open the season,
yeah,
and then have lost 4 straight since.
what do I feel about Liverpool?
What the heck are they title contenders or not? What do we make of this?
Yes.
Because I think that it stems from they were winning football games with Etikite,
Yeah,
and
and,
then
and
they put Isak in, and now they can't figure out how to play together.
you must be following Ekatike on
And
Instagram because somebody is posting that. And
well, he's got a
he's
good point, man. Like you haven't won a game since you put Isak in there, so well, like what are we doing?
no. I mean, what do I feel about Liverpool? I feel like Liverpool is a very good team that just is kind of poor at defense right now. Right? They've scored a ton of goals. Right?
You you mean trying to block things with your butt is not a good defensive strategy?
But this is yes, but this is traditionally a good defensive unit. Like traditionally, Liverpool are
Yes.
good at defense. You know, they technically they could still break the record for the fewest goals scored in the Premier League. They just can't concede another goal for the rest of the season. And they would break that record at 14. But no, like so, like, do I think that Liverpool?
So
Yes, I think
so their losses in
Liverpool.
this their losses in this streak are
Okay,
Palace away,
that's legitimate.
Chelsea Chelsea away,
That legitimate.
Man United at home, which may or may not be legitimate.
That feels a little
You
iffy.
can't lose at Anfield
Yeah,
to
it feels
United.
that feels a
Although
little
that
iffy.
is a very big rivalry game. Give them some slack there, and then it's Brentford away.
That one feels bad.
So the last two, you would say you can concede at
Well,
Stamford Bridge
well, the Palace
at
one, I think the last 3 or 4 competitive fixtures against Palace, Liverpool have lost. They lost in the
yeah,
cup
the
final to them. What wasn't it? Or did they beat City? Did Palace beat City in the cup final? I can't remember.
Palace beat City in the
But
FA Cup.
they beat Palace beat Liverpool in the Community Shield. I feel like
Yeah, in the Shield. Yeah,
let me
maybe
ask.
Glasner's just got the Baldy's number. Maybe it's time to grow hair out. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I'm asking the statistician to pull me the last 4 times that Liverpool and
Yeah.
Crystal Palace have played.
Okay.
We'll
Well,
see.
so you're so we're saying that two of these are forgivable. But the home to United and the away at Brentford, not something that they should be doing. But Etikite's got a point here. Can I objectively say that Etikite is better than Isak? No, I can't objectively say that. Subjectively, maybe I haven't.
Well,
I
you
would.
could,
I don't know. Maybe you can make the argument for it. But
yeah.
objectively, can I say he's better than Isak? No, I can't. I can't do that. But what I can say is Liverpool looked like a better football team when they had Etikite in there,
Yeah,
as opposed to what I see now.
there's a world where you could make an argument that Ekitike fits better in the 9 role for Liverpool than Isak does.
Yeah.
But I also, while I don't agree with the way that Arne Slot said it, saying that Isak didn't have when you don't have a preseason and you're coming from a smaller club and you come to Liverpool, while I disagree with the way that he said it, the argument that Isak didn't really have a preseason, I think, is pretty salient, and that
Sure.
given some time, he will find his feet and start scoring more goals.
And,
But
and I know from games I've watched that Isak is a very versatile player and a very
yes,
do-it-all player. Now I do not claim to have watched all Newcastle games that he was involved in. I watched as many as I could. I can attest to Etikite fits more of what Bobby Firmino did. And now it's a different manager, although similar style, different manager, but he is very fluid across the front. He does not stay
interchangeably fluid. Yeah.
interchangeably fluid across the front, and maybe that helps what they're trying to do. Now that I say that also knowing that Isak is very versatile and is not just a back to goal or over the top. He's not a one-dimensional striker. I know that. And
Yeah.
he's very good with the ball at his feet as well. I know Isak is.
Yeah, and that's I think what Arne Slot's going to have to figure out is what his best formation is, what his best 11 is. And I mean, they have had some injuries. They've had to have Sabozlai play right back, and so that's kind of messed up the midfield. It seems like they're struggling to fit McAllister and Florian Wirtz into the same team. And so like they had a big upheaval in terms of like the number of players that have come in that will disrupt the starting lineup and like need to have a place in the team. But also, like, Mo Salah is not firing on all cylinders. I think everyone would agree that Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahim Konate have not been at their best. Alisson's been injured. And so for all of these reasons, yes, I think Liverpool are in the title hunt. Like, I think it would be, I mean, this is a hyper ridiculous question 9 weeks
Yeah.
in, but that's what the Feels episode's all about. It's all about
It is.
absurdity.
They've lost 4
And
straight. The question
yes,
needed to be asked. They've
yeah.
lost 4 straight. It needed to be asked.
But to be fair, last year when Spurs lost 4 straight, I looked at you and said, Spurs are now out of the, or maybe it was 2 years ago. I can't remember when it was. It must have been 2 years ago where
Yeah.
Spurs were in it, lost 4 straight games. And I looked at you and said, that's Spurs title challenge over, because you can't expect, the question I think you have to ask is, will Arsenal, will City, will they drop 4 straight games over any period in the season? I don't think that they will. Now, our Arsenal and City will absolutely drop points, but the question is, will Liverpool be perfect and Arsenal and City drop the points requisite. And it's only what, 6? How many points between Liverpool and how many points do they have? They
Well,
have 15.
it's
It's
also
7
different.
points. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, when you said that, it was so we had just finished our 10th game unbeaten.
yeah,
We were top of the table, and then proceeded to lose the next 4, primarily because Van de Ven, Romero, Kulusevski, we had injuries to
sure.
key players, which
Yeah.
Liverpool do not have
Allison's out.
currently, other than Allison. But
Frimpong had been out, but I think he's back now. But yes,
so
I take your point.
your point at that time was that you don't look good and you will not look good in the foreseeable future, so you are done. That was your point. But at any point, Liverpool can still flip the switch and be
Sure.
Liverpool again.
Yes.
We just don't know when.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think we all discount the title challenge of Bournemouth and Sunderland. I will be honest with you,
No, we
Sean.
don't.
I discount the title challenge of Tottenham at this point because of squad depth, and I don't think that
we got the depth.
Hold on, I don't think you have.
We're injured right now. We're injured right now.
I don't.
And
think,
still,
I don't think you have the squad depth that you think you have. Is my point.
Madison's coming back. Kulusevski's coming back. We got all these people coming back, baby.
And your center forwards are still Richarlison and
Drags
Dom
Knuckles.
Solanke.
Drags Knuckles coming back. Solanke's been injured. He's coming back.
I mean, like,
man, we got it. We got it. We
your
got
people
the depth,
were calling for Vicario's head last weekend, so.
Well, good thing he stood on it against Everton. Man, that man was everywhere. He caught one off the. I don't know if you saw. He caught a header off the ground, off the bounce, like flailing his hand up. Like, this man was standing on his head. At hockey term, I know, but this guy was everywhere. Man of the match last week.
Saying. So
I don't know if he won man of the match, but he should have. And in Europe, Monaco should have beat us by more.
Well, they didn't beat you by. They didn't beat you by anything.
Yeah, we drew, but they should have won. My man Vicario was man of the match on that one. He had like 8 saves, which is unreal in a soccer game.
Yeah. All right. Rapid fire results that were interesting this weekend. Chelsea lost to Sunderland, so like that's a big result.
Woof.
Sunderland got a last minute goal. It's like 92nd minute, something like that.
Yeah.
What else? Villa beat City. I think that one was pretty.
Yeah, it's
big. And then the big one, Wolves losing to Burnley at home.
Yeah.
Like Burnley taking all 6 of those points.
We highlighted that game as a big game for Wolves, but we didn't realize it was a big game for Burnley. They are out of the relegation zone. I mean, it was a big game for Wolves, but they didn't show up. But I didn't compute how big of a game it was for Burnley.
I kind of thought that Wolves would just, I do this every year with Wolves, where I'm just like, yeah, Wolves are gonna do this, and
they'll figure it out. Yeah, they'll figure it out.
And I'm wrong all of the time. I need to stop putting my faith and trust in Wolves because
they're bad.
They just do this to me. At the top, Liverpool losing to Brentford's interesting. City driving points interesting. Chelsea's driving points interesting, and Arsenal picking up 3 points. It's been a great 2 weeks for Arsenal, if we're being completely honest.
And we haven't even talked about Tottenham going tied for top most goals scored, tied or second in least goals allowed. We're playing exceptional football.
7 is second.
Tied for second. Yep.
Wow.
Behind you guys. You guys have like 4, I think.
3. In 13 games so far this season, Arsenal have conceded 3 goals. The 3 goals we've conceded were the Szoboszlai free kick, the Holland counterattack, and the one against Newcastle.
Yeah, and I can't name all of mine because they're
there's only been 3. There's only been 3 for me. So
yeah. Defensively, very happy. Especially, my general long-standing belief that the least safe lead in sports is a Tottenham 2-0 lead. And that
Hey,
anytime we're up 2-0, I'm like, well, they're going to come back. This is just how it
well,
goes. I feel more safe with a 1-goal lead.
you guys piled it on this week because you had a 2-goal
It
lead and it turned into 3.
turned into 3. That's right. And a quarter of the way through the season, we have half as many points as we scored in the entirety of last year. There you go.
I think that's where we leave it. I think that's our feels episode in the book for 2025. Let us know in the comments what you're feeling about. If we didn't get to something that you are hyper interested in, what your feelings are, let us know in the comments. Like maybe you feel like Arsenal aren't in the title race because they're set piece FC. Maybe that's a feeling you have. I don't know. I would disagree with you, but maybe that's a feeling you have. Let us know in the comments. Hit us up on social media. That guy is at whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Brad is at KSBradG. Maybe send him some like sad kitten memes or something like that so that he, feels bad about losing to Sunderland. And hit us what our corporate Twitter is at redcard_radio. That's the next one. And yeah, we'll be back on Friday with a preview of match week 10, round 10 in the Premier League. Kicking off the second quarter, man. We're in it. We're in the thick of it, and I love it. Until then, I hope you guys enjoy it. Carabao Cup midweek, it's happening right now. Maybe you could watch it, or you could ignore it. I don't know. But we'll be back on Friday to preview round 10. Until then, have a good one. We will talk to you soon.